Hello, everyone. Welcome to Innovating Social Media with AI. How's everyone doing? Hello,
Hi,
hello.
how are you?
Hi, is this Jennifer?
It is, yes.
Hi, Jennifer. Welcome. Excited to have you in session. My name is Emmy Hernandez. I'm going to put my name in here. Let's see. That way you have it handy. So excited to have you in session. So I recognize some names, but I think some names are new. Hello, Mike B. Is this Mike B who's been in sessions with me before? Are you a new Mike B? And Ingrid. Hello, everyone. So for those of you who have been in session with me before, you know the drill. Everything I do is sort of workshop style. I'm going to be introducing you to some tools, and then we get to play with them. And the more you share about how I can help you in the industry that you're in, we can run some examples instead of just being theory. So I don't have any slides for you. This is more of me actually introducing you to the tools and actually playing with them. And so it's very workshop style. So you can use the tools on your end. We can share the screen. You can tell me what you want me to show you, and we can also share the screen with what I come up for you. So that's sort of how I like to run my sessions. So welcome. I have a lot of different tools to introduce you to today, but the idea is I'm going to give you sort of an overarching idea of some of the tools. We are not going to see that or work with all of them today, but at least you have an understanding. You'll have a list of some of the things that you can look at on your own if you like. My intention for today is for you to walk away with at least one tool that you say, I want to play with that further on my own and get some use out of it. So that's my intention for today. But I'd love to hear a little bit more about you. So please know that it's best if I have participation. If not, I'm just going to give you hypothetical situations. But here's the thing: you don't need to participate. If you can't have your camera on or voice on, totally okay. If you can participate in the chat and give me some information, that would be great. If you can come on audio and video, fantastic, or just audio. So here's my question for you all here in the session today is, what industry are you in, and or what were you looking to learn about today? What brought you to today's class and session? So you're welcome to either unmute yourself or type in the chat so I can learn a little bit more about you and how I can support you on this journey. And I'm going to be taking some notes. So whoever wants to go first, Jennifer, looks like you're ready to rock and roll.
Yes. So, Ingrid and I, this sounds like a safe place. Mike is my dad. So,
Hello, yes, hi, Mike. Did Mike recruit you to my session?
yes, he's at a coffee shop right now. So, I
Okay,
don't think
awesome.
he's going to be talking much. But Ingrid and I both work for Verizon. We are executive assistants. We do a lot of everything on the back end. Um, so we do have a program that is coming out that we don't have access to yet, but just looking to see how AI can help out our position and make life easier.
Amazing. Yes, thank you, Mike B. I think your dad has been the #1 recruiter for this class, so he needs to be getting
Oh,
some
I love it.
certificate or something to Jimmy Dean's or something from Do Space, because he keeps bringing people. So I am
And this is
so
my second class with you guys. I did the Canva class. So now I'm working on this. And Gemini is what is actually going to be coming to us. I think they're kind of putting it in phases. So I'm not sure if Gemini is something you have worked with for AI.
You know,
But I'm
it's one of the ones
assuming.
that I bring up. It's not one of the ones that is that I have a full workshop for yet, but I can bring one of those in the future once. I think Gemini needs to up their game a little bit before I can get excited about it.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Yeah, Gemini is And for those of you listening who don't know, Gemini is Google's AI. So, and what I mean by up their game is what they're putting out to the public, right? So, Gemini's tool has to be just by default one of the best that's going to come and like wow us, because Google's been collecting data on us for like a gazillion years, right? Since the beginning of the Google time of internet times. So they obviously have most of this information. They have whatever they've released right now to the public is not that amazing. That doesn't mean that they're not holding all the good stuff behind the scenes so far, if that makes any sense. Right.
Oh yeah.
So I trust that they're working on some pretty incredible things. Um, and they're pacing as to what they release to the public. So what I have noticed that Google has done, I don't know if you've seen this in either in your personal accounts, if you have Gmail, or on the corporate side. I don't know if Verizon uses Google Suite. I know a lot of larger companies don't have Google Suite. They have Outlook, Microsoft Outlook, just for a lot of safety security stuff. So what Google has started doing is including Gemini as part of our Google Suite, meaning every time you write an email, it will actually tell you, now, do you want me to polish this up? So I actually started playing with it yesterday. You just have to like swipe right to accept the polish. It calls it polish. And it'll enhance, rewrite, or whatever it is that you were working on. So Google is kind of, I think, infiltrating from that way in our lives with everyone who already has Google stuff. And then they're going to release the public stuff a little bit different. These are all Emmy guesses. Okay. These are not technical realities. But yeah. Have you seen any of that yet, Jennifer, with Gemini introducing stuff on the Google side? And then
They have, it's coming in phases. So I support senior directors here at Verizon. They have access already. They keep telling me how amazing it is. And
good.
so that's why I kind of want to dive into the AI side of things and see how it can benefit my job here.
I love it. Well, the best thing about what I'm going to introduce you to today is all of the tips and tricks and, let's say, frameworks work with every single one of the AIs. So even though I'm going to be talking about ChatGPT and Claude, I'm going to introduce you to Claude. Everything that we're going to be discussing there applies to Gemini as well. So maybe next time you can give us some more tips on what you've found on Gemini after you play around with some of these.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. I love it. All right. So since your dad's at a coffee shop, hi Mike, have some extra coffee for me. Let's get into some of the nitty-gritty. So because I have you here in session, both Jennifer and Ingrid, feel free to ask as many questions as you want, whether it's chat, just unmute yourself. This is a very interactive workshop, so don't feel like you have to hold your questions at the end. I might, if I'm in the middle of something and my brain won't let me go there, I'll say like, yes, let's get to that. Remind me in 5 minutes or something. Like I might do that. But I'm going to introduce you to a lot of different tools and how to use them. So instead of just I am going to give you just one list, but instead of just giving you that, we're going to play with some of the tools so you can have something you can walk away with and implement pretty much right away at your job. So super excited for y'all. Alrighty, so I have one of the tools that you are going to absolutely love, and it's actually being used by a lot of large corporations already. Excuse me. So you'll get to decide if it's at the standards that Verizon wants and needs, or it's a good starting point, right? Because a lot of this stuff that I do is more for a small business owner. So I know that the branding and strategy for larger corporations is at a whole other level. Okay. So please be aware that I know that. So a lot of the things I'm going to introduce you to here are sort of like starting touch points. And for a lot of small business owners, they could just implement. I know that anything that you run through here, you can't just implement, right? You have to run it up the ladder. So, right. And then I'm also going to introduce you to, have you heard of the tool Perplexity?
No, I have not.
Okay, good. I'm going to introduce you to that one.
Okay.
Because it's going to help you with finding sources for things, which will help your legal team, right? So just because marketing wants to play with something, it doesn't mean that legal's going to let it run through. So, you're going to need some backup on what you're allowed and not allowed to do on certain things. I used to work for a very large Fortune 100 company. And I know the drill. This is before AI even entered the realm, but I know the drill of what marketing wants to do versus what legal and accounting lets us do. So, yeah. So I'll let you play with what you're allowed to do afterwards, but I'm going to introduce you to everything nonetheless, and then you can do whatever you need to on the back end from there. Sound
Okay.
good? Okay, great. Awesome. All right. So the first thing I'm going to introduce you to is I'm going to give you a list from an organization called Synesthesia. So Synesthesia is one of the AI tools, but one of their blogging buddies. I do recommend you save that link, email it to yourself, save it somewhere handy. And then I'm gonna show you the screen because this list is according to this person, the 50 best AI tools for 2025 tried and tested. Okay. So I haven't tested all of these, but it's a good way for you to start exploring and the categories. Okay. So that's what's important to know is that AI kind of encompasses so many different categories right now. And some of them are general and some of them are very specific. So I'm going to introduce you to some of the tools today, but I wanted you to have a list of all of them first. So we're going to start a little bit general and then we're going to get a little bit more into the nitty gritty. So here we
The
go.
link that you just put in the chat,
Yes.
I don't have it. My company's blocking it.
Oh, it's probably because it's an AI tool. Interesting. Hmm. Are you able to email it to your personal email and see it from there?
Let me try. Yeah.
So that way you can have it handy. I don't see this. This is what it is. So Synesthesia is an AI tool for video. Yeah. So this can be interesting, right? So you're gonna see a lot of the tools
Yeah. I
that
just hate to dive into something that I'm not going to have access to.
yeah, that's a bummer because I think synesthesia and in video, if that's blocked, that means in video is probably blocked too. Actually, let's check out how many of these are blocked. It's a good thing for us to find out because you might be blocked from all the tools I'm trying to introduce you to. You say you think we need approval. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're probably gonna need to talk to your higher ups and then them tell IT like, hey, these are greenlit for them. Uh, let's see. Because this is the one I was most excited to introduce you to, an Opus.
This intro video or in video, is this the one you're going to be working with?
So Opus Pro was the one that I was most excited to introduce you to, but like, is it letting you go into any of these?
Okay,
Opus
so I think
Pro in video. That's weird because that first link for synesthesia is just a list of AI tools. So happens to be written
oh,
by.
yeah, I I have access to the second too. So the Opus and the in video.
Okay, good. Does it let you go to just this one, or I wonder if it's blocking synesthesia altogether? Let's see.
Yeah, I can't do that one.
Okay, so it's what that tells me is that they haven't caught on to NVIDIA, because NVIDIA does the same exact thing. uh,
Okay.
so as long as you can see Opus Pro this way, you may or may not, you have a full marketing team, so I'm not too worried about you needing synesthesia. But I am gonna show you on my screen what they do. And then we can go from there. So let me go through. So thank you for telling me that some of that is blocked. So you'll be able to see here what that link is, the one that's blocked. So I'm going to show you just a little bit of some of the tools by category. Okay, it's very important for you to know which tools do what and what categories they're in. Again, this is not for you to memorize this. This is just for you to know some of these. And let me see, there might be a way. Let's see if I copy this. I don't know if it'll lose the links. Let's see if it'll. It says two. Let's see. I'm trying to. So here's the link. Let's see. Stop that writing. Let me know if you're able to click on any of those links. We know synesthesia is blocked, but I wonder what about any of the other ones. So you can have some sort of list.
Yeah, a lot of these are blocked for me.
Yeah. So yeah, these are all AI tools. So I'll let you and Ingrid figure out what you want to do about that. Because you're gonna need to have some access to some of them, right? And it just depends what you're looking for. So I put those in there so that the original link that you can't access, this is the list. Okay, so you're not missing out on anything. You can just copy them from there, and then you can see which ones are blocked later on, and if it's something that you even want to explore. So this is what they call AI assistants, chatbots, sort of like more general, which I'm sure you've all heard of: ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, DeepSeek. I do recommend that especially large corporations stay away from DeepSeek at the moment, because it is a company that has a lot of political volatility at the moment. So just don't click on anything DeepSeek related. I do recommend that.
Okay.
Because all the other companies are US based, DeepSeek is currently China owned and based, and could be potentially dangerous for US information. So fair warning on DeepSeek. For video generation and editing, again, y'all have your own large marketing team, so this isn't something that's too important for you. Synesthesia, Runway, Filmora, Opus Clip. I am going to introduce you to Opus Clip because I think it will come in handy regardless. There are large corporations and smaller companies using Opus Clip. Note takers for like meetings, these are companies that you can sort of like add a little plugin for Zoom, Fathom, Neota. Research, Deep Research, Writer. There's this company, Writer, Pseudo-Write. Grammar and writing improvement. You've probably already heard of Grammarly. Some companies block it, some don't. Although Grammarly, I think, is pretty safe. There's WordTune, search engines. This is where I'm going to introduce you to Perplexity. ChatGPT search, social media management. So Vista Social, FeedHive, image generation, Midjourney, Dolly 3. So usually I do some image generation stuff on here, but it's not necessarily something that I recommend for unless your higher ups are excited about what Gemini is creating. I don't necessarily see AI being something that your team is using for image generation at the moment, at least maybe for some draft things, but you have a whole team that does that for you. So at least for now. App builders and coding, Bubble. So you'll see, I'm just going to give you the categories. So there's project management, scheduling, customer service, recruitment, knowledge management for email, presentations, resume builders, voice generation, music generation, marketing, and sales. Okay, so these are some tools in different categories. And yeah, a lot of these, if you're able to use them, or could kind of be a good starting point for whatever it is that you're working on as a draft to give it to your creative team, if that makes sense, right? So it wouldn't necessarily, for a lot of the small business owners, this would be the end, right? That'd be done here. But for large corporations, it's sort of like a draft of like, hey, this is sort of what I was thinking. Can you take it to the next level? Right. So that's, you have the tools now, at least the list of them in chat. And then you'll see which ones you're allowed to use and which ones you're not, but you can at least save those on a document somewhere, or note somewhere is what I recommend.
Yep. Hey, Ingrid, I just copied all of that and stuck it in our Mountain EA drive. So we'll be able to play around and see what we can and can't do.
Perfect. There you go. All right, ladies. So yes, these are some of the best tools. And then again, we're only going to touch on like 2 or 3 today because we don't have that much time. I don't even have accounts for all of these yet, because I don't need them all, right? But that way, you know, they exist, and you can then play around with whatever you think would be great. So, you know, just like I'm looking on here on the music generation stuff, I'm excited about, because I have some clients that do some meditations, and they're not allowed to use any just random background YouTube music, right? So they can create their own sort of like sound frequencies for the background, and then put their meditation and post it on YouTube because it is copyright free, right? So that's an example of how you can use something quickly. On the voice generation, the 11 Labs gets a lot more intense because you can clone your own voice and actually use a person that they have on there, like an avatar that looks like it's you speaking. And you can actually clone yourself as well. So it can get pretty intense pretty quickly. But at least this way you have the tools, and you can go from there. So let me introduce you to some of the stuff that we have done in the past for some social media stuff. Okay, so I'll give you an example of a previous class. So in a previous session, you know, and since you're all at Verizon, it's a whole other ballgame, right? Because you're a large corporation, so you can, like, the ad creative stuff goes through multiple levels of review before anything is launched. But I wanted to give you an example of something that we did with doTERRA, right? To give them an example. So somebody from doTERRA came to our sessions and wanted to learn a little bit more about how to have when some of their videos potentially go viral, right? So there's no guarantee that the script that comes from here goes viral, but you can give ChatGPT examples of what to review in order to give you some steps, right? So I'm going to give you an example. So for ChatGPT, one of the #1 things that you need to learn about how to prompt ChatGPT and Claude and Gemini, really all of them, is you got to tell them what hat to wear, right? So I want you to act as an executive producer for podcasts. I want you to act as a marketing genius. I want you to act as an expert copywriter. I want you to act as expert whatever. Give ChatGPT a hat to wear in order for it to know what it is that you're working on, and then give it the task, right? So I'm going to give you an example of what I did here, and then we can play around with some ideas of maybe some of the things that you, Jennifer, and Ingrid were sort of thinking about potentially playing with, but you weren't sure if you were allowed to. You can just tell me, and we can play it on here because I have access to it. All right. So obviously something that is just sort of like for pretend or for fun, nothing that's going to be under, you know, company NDA, which I know you wouldn't share anyway, but you know what I mean, right? I have to reiterate that. I have to verbalize that. So let me give you an example of something that we did on here for doTERRA. So as my marketing video genius, write me a viral script for doTERRA lemon essential oil based off of. So I told it based off of. So this person is someone that the person that came to class really loved this person's videos and their strategies and how they sort of broke it down. And this person's YouTube account gets a lot of hits on a regular basis. So said my marketing video genius, write me a viral script for doTERRA lemon essential oil based off. I think I did this double, as you can see. And ChatGPT figures it out anyway. That's what's so amazing, is that me as an inputter prompter can be a little bit dumb, but ChatGPT is smarter than I am in certain areas, so it figures it out. I said, do a research on Jenny Hoyos, which is this person's account, and break down her strategy to make my video script. Do research on Jenny Hoyos and break down. Like, again, you see, I did this double. I must have been copying and pasting it from the other side, I think, from Claude. So let me give you an example of how it explains this. And I'm going to introduce you to Claude in a little bit so you can see the difference of what it comes up with. And then once you give it different commands, it'll do different things, right? So let me give you, like, this was not, half of this is the command, right? Do research and then make my video script. That's really the end there. So to craft, then we'll look at the answer. It says, to craft a viral marketing video for doTERRA lemon essential oil inspired by Jenny Hoyo's successful strategies, consider the following script structure. Opening hook, first 3 seconds, visual, close-up of half lemon being squeezed, vibrant juice, droplets in slow motion. This is what I mean around, it can be a really great draft place for you, Jennifer and Ingrid, to be able to bring to creative team, instead of you having to create all of it, right? So, and again, I don't know in what area or space in how you support your senior leadership, but this is a great way of coming up with email outlines, or even rewriting an email. So say they're like, hey, contact John at AT&T to set up a meeting or whatever, and these are the points that I want for the agenda. They can actually video note that for you. You can transcribe it on ChatGPT and then tell ChatGPT, summarize and organize these bullet points in a cohesive way. So we're going to get into that a little bit more. I want to show you sort of the general stuff here, and then I want to get a little bit more into the nitty gritty into how to support you both specifically. Okay, so instead of just general stuff, I want to actually support you specifically on certain things that you are being asked or tasked to do. Okay, so it talks about, here's the opening hook, visual close-up of half lemon being squeezed, vibrant juice droplets in slow motion, narrator. Ever wondered how a single drop can transform your day? And then introduction of conflict, right? Because we need conflict in order to resolve it, or else nothing goes viral, right? So visual, person struggling to clean a greasy stovetop, looking frustrated. Narrator, tired of stubborn stains and artificial cleaners. Introduction of solution. Visual, hand reaching for a bottle of doTERRA lemon essential oil. Narrator, discover the natural power of doTERRA lemon essential oil. Demonstration with twist. Visual sequence, adding a few drops to spray bottle, cleaning the stovetop effortlessly. So this is a little bit more of like what we call B-roll, right? Says number 2, diffusing the oil, family members smiling as they enter the room. 3, adding a drop to glass of water, person enjoying a refreshing sip. Narrator, clean your home, uplift your mood, and refresh your senses, all with 1 drop, right? So I happen to know that doTERRA is actually one of the few essential oils that you actually could do this, right? Drinking a glass of water, refreshing sip, like adding a drop there, because it's actually safe. Most of the brands of essential oils that you find at most of the stores are not safe to do this with. So this would probably be something that I would add as like an added twist there, like making sure that people are not doing, like I have one on my desk right now. It's not lemon oil, it's another oil, but there's no way that I would put that in a water bottle or glass of water and drink it, because it's not safe for that. Right, so here we go. It says narrator, clean your home, uplift your mood, and refresh your senses, all with 1 drop. So now it goes into call to action, right? The visual doTERRA lemon essential oil bottle with a clickable link or QR code, right? So it's giving you some options there. Narrator, experience the zest of nature. Click to transform your daily routine. And then closing with emotional appeal, right? Visual, family enjoying a clean, happy home environment. Narrator, bring the essence of purity into your life with doTERRA. strategic breakdown, right? So not only is it telling you what to do, it's telling you why. So it's telling you compelling hook, relatable conflict, clear solution, visual storytelling, emotional resonance, effective pacing, strong call to action, right? So you could actually grab this strategic breakdown and say, okay, great. Now do the strategic breakdown for the newest iPhone or the newest Samsung or the newest Motorola, whatever it is that you want to promote, right? So I was like, okay, great, right? Give me a pretty good idea of that would actually be a really good ad for like IG, right? For Instagram, but it would be obvious that it would be an ad, right? And it would actually probably even be good for like Hulu ads or something like that. So I told it, great, update the script and make it a funny skit, right? So I gave no more, it has no idea what I think is funny, right? But I wanted to give you an understanding a little bit about what it does here, right? So opening hook, visual, a person dressed as a lemon, full body costume, lounging on a couch, scrolling on their phone, a voice yells from off screen. So I just want you to get very quickly how amazing it can shift and give you ideas, right? Because you're the human here. You can take this as a draft, throw it all away, or take bits and pieces and be like, ooh, this would be really good for what I want to do. Okay, so the idea here is that this is your executive assistant, right? So this is your support for you supporting the higher ups and the senior leadership team, as opposed to this is what's doing stuff for you. That makes any sense, right? Because you know that when you are tasked to do something, your team then tells you, hey, this part's great. Can you remove this? Can you do this? So it's all about adjustments. Okay. There's no such thing as trial and error with AI. It's trial and adjustment. Okay. I want you to write that down. Trial and adjustment. Okay. You're gonna have to continuously be adjusting. There's no such thing as failure. You can't get it wrong. Okay. You can't get it wrong. So, all right, so let's go through this, right? So the opening hook, this is their version of a funny skit, right? A person dressed as a lemon, full body costume, lounging on a couch, scrolling on their phone. A voice yells from off screen, voice off screen, hey, why are you just sitting there? You're supposed to be helping us clean. Lemon person, startled, what? I'm on a break. Use the oil version of me. Right? Scene one, cleaning drama. Kitchen in chaos, greasy stovetop, person desperate. This is a disaster. Lemon, where are you? Right? Lemon person, relax. Just grab the doTERRA lemon essential oil. You get the idea, right? So the idea is it gives you some draft, and here's the second scene, right? So person, hey, Lemon, can you fix this? And then Lemon person says, I'm a citrus, not a therapist. Well, what about this, right? So it gives you some of that, like, it gave us a funny skit, right? We didn't give it any guidelines as to what was funny, so it decided to create one on its own. But it sort of did the end scene there. So you can see how quickly it can shift from one scene to another if you give it a little bit of adjustment and guidance on some of the guidelines that it wants to do there. I'm going to show you what Claude did. So Claude.ai is one of my absolute favorite tools. I want to give you this one. Can you check to see if you're able to get onto Claude? We know you can get onto Gemini, so that's good. I'm going to give you a cheat sheet that you can download specifically for.
No, we can't get on Gemini yet.
You can't get on Gemini yet? Okay, well, you will be able to. So I'm glad that they're pumping it up, but you can't see it yet. So when you do get on the Gemini, come back so we can play specifically on Gemini. Are you able to get on Claude? Will it let you get on?
No, I'm not. But we have something similar. It's called VZGPT. So I think it's like
Okay,
our Verizon app of this. So
perfect.
Ingrid and I are kind of, as you're doing things, we're typing it in to see, like a opening hook for a staff meeting, or help me create an agenda, things like that. So it's coming up with it.
I love it. Okay, great. So if you can't get on Claude, then I won't go too much deep on here because you can't see it anyway. So we're just gonna move on. But I just wanted to tell you, once you can get on Gemini, whatever you ask it, give your prompt to another GPT, whatever it is, and see what it tells you, because you'll get very different responses. Claude is supposed to be a little bit more humanized. So I gave it the same task of like the oil stuff, and then it gave me a different script. So again, I'm not going to go into the details of this, especially since you can't get on there. Just know that if you can have that handy and use it maybe in your personal computer at home, excuse me, it's quite amazing. Let me show you. Are you able to get onto Perplexity? I wonder if they let you get onto Perplexity or not.
Nope, of course not.
No. Okay.
We can't do anything.
That's a bummer. So let's see. A lot of people are asking lots of questions. So the reason I like Perplexity is, think of it as Google plus the whole world's library, right? So you can ask it something and then it gives you the sources of where things are cited, right? So I'll ask it this. Which lemon essential oil is the best on the market? I'm just asking it something that we don't really care about. I just wanted you to see how it works. Okay. So this is the first time it gives it to me in a table. This is nice. Okay, so it gives me the brand and
Can you
product.
go back and do the best dash cam? Because I really want to get one. My daughter just bought a car yesterday, and I was actually on Google last night looking.
Oh, I love it, right? Yeah, see, so here's the best part. It gives you links to things and sources, right? So this is what I meant about like getting works cited, so that then you can come prepared to any legal meeting or give your leadership links to why you select a certain thing. So let's do a new thread. You can definitely ask that. What is the best dash cam on the market? Right, let's see. Dash cam. Best dash cam on the market is 2025 in the next space, and it offers impressive related. For those seeking premium option, the Cobra.
That's really cool.
Right, top features look for in a dash cam. So here's what I like about Perplexity is that it asks questions that other people are asking that are related, or that it thinks that you should be asking, right? So what are the top features you look for in a dash cam? Then it gives you all those answers there. What's the next base compared to the Garmin 55? Are there any dash cams? What is the best budget-friendly dash cam with the 4K video? Right, so you don't lose any of these. All the answers are still there, right? And not only are they there, it gives you links to them, right? So here's a Garmin dash cam. Here's a YouTube video. Here's a review from kithonestjohn.co, 5 other sources, right? So this is why I like this, because like, okay, because then from there you can decide what is a legitimate source, right? And if none of the sources are legitimate, you're like, I don't trust this so much, right? So, oh, there you go. This is what I'm looking for. I was looking for a chart here. Okay, so here we go. Dash cam, key features, price range. How cool is that? So now let me see. What is it? Oh, look, you can download a CSV. How cool is that? Let me see if it lets me copy this and how. Let's see if that works in there. I'm not sure if it's keeping any of
Oh
the,
yeah,
but at least
got
it's
it.
gives you something, right? So look at related products,
Yes.
right? So I call Perplexity Google on steroids, like 100 times Google, right? So this is why I think, and Gemini is kind of okay with some of this stuff. This is what I mean about like, I'm not impressed with them. But again, like whatever your leadership team has, that tells me that Google has already struck a deal with Verizon. So you have to have some of the best stuff, which is not what they're giving to the normal public for free, if that makes sense, right? So like your leadership team has an advanced version, so that's why I'm not impressed with Gemini, but I'm glad they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what Perplexity does. So, does that mean that you can't? So you have your own Verizon chat bot. So that tells me that your chat bot, I can almost guarantee you this, it can't be 100% sure, was actually built off of ChatGPT. So, because you can build chat bots in here. So the Verizon chat bot is very likely built off of the ChatGPT model, because that's how most of them are created. So this is what you have access to, even though it's your internal one. So here's what we can play with. So now let me give you some ticks, some trips. You love it, Ingrid? Okay, good. I don't feel like I've given you anything useful yet. So I gotta get to a point where I can actually give you something useful. So I'm glad that you're loving something. Usually people are not restricted from going to a lot of these sites because I have mostly small business owners. So I feel so bad and so sad that I can't show you a lot of these things, but we're doing our best. All right, so let me upload. I'm gonna upload a file for you, and I hope it lets you download it. I don't see why it wouldn't, but you never know with it. Okay, so it's called the ChatGPT cheat sheet. Let me know if you can download that, because this will serve you inside your Verizon chatbot that you told me. Because if it's a chatbot, it's 99% chance that it was created off of ChatGPT's bot, and they just have a private version of it. Because I help other companies create their own chatbot based off ChatGPT.
Okay. Yeah.
Are you able to download that?
Yes.
Okay, great. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull up that file, and we're going to briefly look over it for what it means to prompt. Okay, so prompting means what are you typing in as a request? Okay, so I'm going to pull up that file for us, and then we're going to test some things out in ChatGPT. Okay, so let's see, it's probably, let me make this larger. Okay, here we go. All right, so ChatGPT cheat sheet. So there are two very important things, and the number one thing is the most important. A lot of people skip it. Sometimes I skip it, but the results I get are much better once I give it what to do. Okay, so, and these are in sequential order. So one of the most important things that I recommend you do when you're working with ChatGPT or any other chatbot is give it a role. Okay, so act as a writer, act as an expert, and here it needs an expert something, right? I'm not sure that was I'm borrowing this sheet from a friend. So it's act as a copywriter, act as an accountant, act as an expert blogger, act as a software engineer, act as a YouTuber, act as a researcher, act as an assistant, act as a proofreader. Okay, so you're giving it a role, and then you're defining the goal. Okay, so you're telling it what you want it to do. I'll give you an example of what I used it for yesterday. Is I have a company I help who has their own podcast, and there's a lot of steps involved with getting the podcast launched. They already have several episodes, but I needed a description and a title for what they were going to do for this specific episode. Okay, and they didn't have any details other than what was said on that Zoom call. So I actually had ChatGPT tell me where I could transcribe the file, because it couldn't transcribe it for me. So I said, transcribe this. And ChatGPT said, I can't, but here are some tools that you can use. So I went to a tool that it told me to transcribe it, which was otter.ai, and I was able to do it for free. And once it was transcribed, it said, give me the details or give me the summary. And then it took it from there. So, but I told it, act as an executive podcast producer and give me 5 options for titles for this podcast and give me a podcast description. Like, the answers that it gave me there, it was just like they were ready to rock and roll. And it gave me 5 options for the title, and I really loved one because I always tell it to give me more than one option. I really loved one of those, and then that's what I was able to use for the company. So it is absolutely mind-blowingly amazing. Okay, so you give it a roll, tell it who you want it to wear, what hats do you want it to wear, okay? Define the goal. You can actually give it a specific person, right? So if you want a specific voice, if there's someone from the New York Times, someone from the Wall Street Journal, someone that's a blogger that you absolutely love, you can say, act as an expert blogger. This person, you can, if they're famous enough, and they have enough written, ChatGPT will know who they are. If not, you can give them a link to whoever they are, and they can write something in that voice. It's freaking crazy. Define the goal, right? So this is, what do you want it to do? Write a blog post, write a college essay, give me a recipe for blank, proofread this essay, write a script for a podcast, research the best ways to blank, analyze the following text blank, write a script for a video, proofread my essay, write an email. Okay, so for what you and Ingrid are doing, Jennifer and Ingrid, one of my favorite things to do is write something, right? Let's say, you have a draft email. Is what you can do is have it proofread, edit, and optimize, and enhance. So I'm gonna type that in here in the chat so you can have that. Okay.
Okay, so far I'm following you. I put act as an assistant, and then it came back, please provide me with a question or task so I can assist you. So then this is what I'll type in next, is what you're sending over, right?
Yes, so I'm gonna walk you through these real quick, and then I'm gonna show you how I use it, because I do it all at the same time. You can do it separately.
Okay.
As you can see, it'll prompt you, so you can see here, right? So act as an expert copywriter, proofread, edit, enhance, optimize this email. Okay, this is one of my favorite prompts to tell it to do. So you can either enter that and say, and then it'll say, yes, show me the email. And then you can edit there, or you can put it in directly. I'm going to show you how I do that. You can tell it to write an email, right? So, but with the things you're already doing is you want it to like not remove your essence, right? Proofread, edit, enhance, and optimize. Right? So sometimes you want it to rewrite it, but if it rewrites it too much where it's obvious it's not you, this way it just enhances and optimizes what you already wrote, right? And it removes any of the typos. Right? So here we are, we define the goal. So that would be an example of like giving it a role and then defining a goal, right? So it's like, I want you to act as an expert copywriter, proofread, edit, enhance, or optimize this email. You can tell it act as an expert executive assistant and proofread it and do the following, right? You can set restrictions, right? I like to say you're giving it extra guidelines, right? So on here it says use simple language, write in formal tone, use scientific sources, write in basic English, write in short or long sentences, use poetic writing style, be concise, or add lots of detail, write in a persuasive tone, or be professional. So one of my favorite things to do is to tell it, be conversational, yet professional. Be conversational, yet professional is one of my favorite ways for it to, so it doesn't sound so robotic, but also not, and it all depends on who your audience is, like who's this email for, right? Is it more of a casual sort of conversation, or is this like a high level business meeting that you're setting the tone for an agenda, and it has to be super professional, right? You can define the format. So answer in bullet points, include a table, include emojis, answer using code, answer using markdown, use a numbered list, split answer into sections, include subheadings, include an analogy, include a graph, right? So to be honest, I have not played so much with define a format. But I need to play with it more. But these first three, the 1 and 2, I use a lot. And then when I use 1, 2, and 3, it changes everything, right? So you can use them all at the same time or add as you go along. So now that you have this and that you can see it on your own, we're gonna go actually back to ChatGPT so we can play with some of this. So while I get back to that screen, let's see. Is there anything that we can play with, Jennifer and or Ingrid, that we can put in as an example here, that is maybe in general, it has nothing to do with Pfizer, maybe it does, something that, you know, is not corporate company secrets, that we can put in here as some examples so I can sort of walk you through how I do this.
Ingrid just did one and she sent it to me. It just wrote a whole essay on the transformation power of 5G. Um, so that was
Nice.
really cool.
Nice. Did you like what
Yeah.
it, so that's an example of like having a starting point, right? So let's actually ask it, right? Act as an expert blogger. So quick question is, are there any, and I know there are there any trade magazines, whether they're virtual or in print, that Verizon loves to be in pretty regularly? And or someone who writes about that is one of the top bloggers that y'all like to follow?
I can't think of anything. Can you, Ingrid? I know she's having trouble getting off mute and talking. That's why she keeps chatting.
Okay, yeah, I see that she
I
came
think
in.
I got it working now.
Hi,
Oh,
Ingrid.
there she
Welcome.
is.
Hi. I forgot my settings, and then when I changed it, it logged me off the call, so I had to connect back. See, the one thing that like I love ChatGPT and I downloaded it on my phone, but sometimes
Yeah.
it gives us a max of things we can do for the day. So I don't know if we have to pay extra or what, but I was able to use it on my phone, and then that sometimes I'll be like, oh, do an AI picture of like let's say my senior director riding a horse or something like that.
Yeah.
So it'll give me like up to 3 pictures, and then it'll say you've reached your max for the day, and I'm like, oh no.
Yes, absolutely.
So
So all the tools I'm introducing you to are free up to a certain extent. I happen to have a paid subscription to ChatGPT because I use it so much. So yeah, you will be limited. You're only allowed to, I'm surprised you got 3 images. Usually it lets you do 2. But yeah, it's not unlimited for sure. And even if you pay for it, it's not unlimited. Yeah, because they are a business after all. So I'll give you an example here. So act as an expert blogger and write me an article of the, I don't even know, what did you say, the transformations of 5G technology?
Yeah.
So here's, I'm going to give you an example of how I give it all in one sort of big blob, right? Write it in a conversational, yet professional tone. Add some fun analogies. Make it entertaining and educational. See what I mean? This is what I mean about how you prompt it, right? So you tell it what hat to wear, what do you want it to do, right? So we're asking it to write an article, transformation of 5G tech, write it in a conversational yet professional tone, add some fun analogies, make it entertaining and educational. So this is like all instructions at once. You can write even more. And give me 5 options for the heading title. We're just gonna go from there. And then I'm just gonna push enter and then see what happens. because then from here, we can make as many adjustments as we want, right? So here's some fun informative articles on transformation of 5G tech, option titles from speed bumps to superhighways, the rise of 5G, 5G, the supercharge we didn't know we needed, unleashing 5G, how the fastest network changing our world, 5G, more than just a speed upgrade, 5G is here and shaping our digital future. All right, so here we go. Transformation of 5G, how the future is faster, smarter, and more connected. All right, so it's still going because it's writing subheadings because it's so freaking smart. And everything. Go ahead. Right, so here it is. I hope this hits the mark. Let me know if you want any tweaks, right? So we can change things as we go. So it's giving us 5 option titles. We told it to write 1 article, right? So here's the article. We can change whatever we want, and then we get to select whatever option titles we want from there, right? So it selected one for us, transformation of 5G, how the future is faster, smarter, and more connected, right? So if you thought 4G was impressive, buckle up. Because 5G is about to take you on a ride through the fast lane of technology, right? So that's already giving us a little bit more of like the humanistic conversational tone versus like an academic, like research paper, right? Because you can have, I actually teach college graduates who are in PhD programs how to use this as well. And their prompts are very, very different because the stuff that they're doing is very research academic based. So their stuff, we remove the conversational kind of entertainment side of it, which is all very dry and boring, but they need help with that, the research side, right? So over here, we can add a little bit more fun, right? So let's be honest, 5G isn't just about speed, it's about transforming everything we know about connectivity. Imagine trading in your old bicycle for a Ferrari. That's what 5G does for your mobile experience. How did we get here and where is it all going? Cool, right? So I told it, add some fun analogies. This helps me because I didn't see it that way. Bicycle for a Ferrari. Okay, nice. Right? So let's see, road ahead. So what comes next? We're only scratching the surface of 5G, what 5G can do, autonomous vehicles, virtual reality, ultra smart cities, blah, blah, blah. So how is this article? Maybe the article you already got, Ingrid, was absolutely phenomenal, and this one's horrible. But it just at a quick glance, I know we haven't read it all, but at a quick glance, can you see the difference between just prompting it of like, write me this versus giving it all of this context? So I'm going to pause here for a second to get some of your thoughts and feedback on this.
That makes sense because when I was like using it to begin with, it was just like a 2 or 3 word thing. And I'm just like, oh, and then it kept asking me questions. So it helps with like the prompting and how to word when you're asking it to do something for you. So it makes more sense now because I didn't know how to use it to begin with. So
yeah, most people don't.
yeah.
We're not taught prompting. Yeah, there's an entire career now called prompt engineering. So in this way, remember, Ingrid, you said that you lose chances. So every time you give it a query, you lose a chance, right? So if you give it one thing and then you're like, okay, act as an executive assistant, and then it's like, okay, what do you want me to write? And then every time you ask it that, you're losing opportunities, right? So this one was just one request. Look at how much we got from one request.
Well,
right?
in my head, I'm trying to think of,
Yeah.
Ingrid, when would we use something like this? I don't write or, need this much information at times.
Yeah, I don't think we need to. And like it would be helpful. Like I know Jen and I were just talking about how like her senior director used it for, end of year stuff. So I think it'll be more beneficial for them versus ours would just be like typical verbiage and how, ask for requesting meetings or how to do an agenda or like what Jen was showing me about like the how to start a meeting, like the hook introductions and stuff like that. So I think those are just, yeah, I don't think we need it to that extent, but it's nice to know that we're able to if we need to. Yeah.
Perfect. So let me give you an example of how, with the context you just gave me, how you may or may not want to be able to use this, right? So it's like, it's writing an article. Let's say that this is a presentation that senior leadership is giving at a conference, as an example, right? So So summarize and give me bullet points. So this is what I asked it to do, summarize and give me bullet points. So let me just show you and we can play along, right? So I'm giving a speech, or you can even say my boss is giving a speech, right? So we just say this. Watch. Mas is giving a speech at, what is it, CES? The big in Vegas. Act as an expert speech writer and write me a 10-minute keynote with the outline first with bullet points, and then we ensure earn education. Right, so I'm giving you examples of what you can, like, how you can be like supportive to the rest of your team. Like you'll come up, now that you're sort of seeing how I'm prompting things, you'll come up with more ideas of how you can use it on a daily basis. Right, so here's, so again, you can tell it like that, the same thing. We can tell her like, hey, right, I'm gonna give a 5-minute presentation. Give me the agenda, right? So introduction, right? So here's a full keynote speech.
The application is for the 2024 tax year. It was
I'm going to tell it to stop just because I don't need the whole thing, right? But you're getting the idea, right? So I need to present and this to my team. And by the way, you can have lots of typos. I have lots of typos in my prompting and it doesn't care. And to my team in only have 5 minutes to present, because you can use this as sort of like stream of thought, stream of consciousness. You don't have to have so formal in your guidelines, right? I only have 5 minutes to present. Give me an agenda for what? Right, so because this is part of the same conversation, right, we can keep it in here. So I'm going to give you an example of, let's say we want to work on something completely different. We would not continue this conversation. We would do a new chat, right? So the only reason this is understanding what we want is because it's still part of the same conversation, right? So think of it as like from a human experience, right? You're talking about something and you want to switch topics. You have to verbalize like, hey, on another note, or like switching topics, right? So anytime your mental brain goes into on another note or switching topics, you want to start a new thread, a new chat, a new conversation, right? Because or else this is different, right? So here it is. There's a 5-minute breakdown for the meeting agenda. It's telling you, okay, so like this is the agenda for you. Great. So like I wanted to write an agenda for what to send in an email to the rest of the team. Great. Write the agenda to send via email to my team. So I told it, great, because I liked that, right? I did a good job doing that, but I don't need all the minute markers and all that because that would be for, for yourself. It would be for me, right? So here it is. This is where some of this is, now you're probably starting to see how it can come in handy, right? So subject agenda for seniors keynote speech review. Hi team, hope you're doing well. Speech review overview agenda. So it's kind of missing the mark there, right? So I think I confused it a little bit. So remember I told you this is all trial and adjustment, right? So I'm going to say not quite. Make the agenda very concise and remove the second markers. This is just for internal purposes.
Years. I'm talking about no deposit, no payment.
Right? So it's like, oh, it wasn't quite what I wanted. There's an example of that, right? So again, this is consistently creating an adjustment, right? So think of this is your executive assistant, right, doing its best, but you have to give it feedback, right? And you have to tell it what you wanted to do a little bit differently in order for it to be better. So I'm gonna pause here for a moment so I can get your thoughts and ideas and feedback on what you're seeing so far.
Yeah, I guess my thoughts just keep going to the most that I think I'm going to be able to use this for. And Ingrid, correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, if I'm sending out an email, I'm blasting it out to say, you know, like our whole market area. I want to make sure that, you know, the format's right, that I'm, you know, I usually know if I'm spelling something wrong, but um I like where you're able to put in like enhance and optimize this email because maybe there might be a better way. Sometimes, you know, I struggle, I sit there and stare at it, or, you know, we send it to Ingrid or somebody else. Like, how does this sound, you know, before you send it out to 500 employees?
Yeah, absolutely. This could be your extra Ingrid, right? So say for example,
Right.
so say for example, this is the original email that we wrote, right? So it's like this is what you already have written, and you don't know if that's like the best thing to go about it, right? So you can copy that. So you can copy something that you've already written, right? So post it here. So here's where, so we're gonna, so act as an expert email writer. I want you to proofread, enhance, and optimize the following email. You can also tell it to just give you suggestions, right? And also give me suggestions and feedback on how to make it better. This is going to be sent to 500 employees. Right? So here's the key, right? So this is the part where a lot of people don't understand because they do enter there. So this is where you don't do enter yet. Okay, here's a quick tip. Ready? So you're gonna hold down shift. We're gonna hit return. Because the second you push enter when you're doing that, it's giving the command. So you're gonna hold down shift, push return, enter, right? And then here's where I already copied the email from above. So we're pretending we copied it from another email, right? Not from there, but you can also find from your own chats. But let's say it's something you've already drafted, right? So we're literally just gonna do it on my Mac, it's Command V or Control Paste, right? So you're just gonna Control Paste, and then we're gonna do enter, and then it's gonna go off. So here's a more polished version of your email. Keynote speech agenda, let's get aligned. So even from here, it's already doing something new, right? So I want to see what it does at the end. Conclusion and call to action. Right, so even from the email it wrote, it's giving suggestions for improvement, right? So here's at the end, I'm looking forward to discussing these points with you all, blah, blah, blah. Suggestions for improvement, clear subject line. The subject is direct, but could be more engaging. I've adjusted it to make it a bit more exciting and action-oriented to capture attention. Tone and clarity, revise the email, maintains a professional but approachable tone. For example, changing, I want to take a few minutes to walk through to, I want to take a moment to align, makes the email more streamlined and purposeful. Action-oriented language, bullet points for readability, positive framing, phrasing like align on key themes and inspire everyone to think big encourages a positive and collaborative atmosphere, which is key when addressing a large team. Is that helpful?
Yes. Sorry.
Yeah,
I
I
was on
think I think that's helpful a lot because right now I'm using Grammarly on my emails. So
Yeah.
the most it can do is like check for typos. And then
Correct.
sometimes they'll say it's better if you reword it this way, which is nice because I have it as an extension. But then when it comes to like more, it usually would ask me, do you want to upgrade? I'm like, no.
Yeah,
So
Yeah, Grammarly is pretty basic. It's more for like
Yeah, just
proofreading.
the basic stuff.
Those. Yeah, it's not
Mhm.
gonna
So
give
this
you
is better.
ideas. Yeah, this is Grammarly times 1,000. ChatGPT, because it'll proofread by default. Even if you don't tell it to proofread, it will. And it'll fix any and all typos.
Yeah, this is very helpful.
Yay! I'm glad.
Yeah, I do. I love this. I mean, because at times we even have to send out emails as our boss. And then that's when you really get worried that you're going to be judged.
Oh, absolutely. So, okay, so let's see. Check this out. I'm just thinking of Ariane Huffington right now. I was gonna ask you the name of one of your bosses, but we're not gonna do that on a recorded call. We're just gonna find someone who's already famous. So let's see. How many hours is Ariana sleep? Ariana Thunder. So I'm looking for an article. So let's see. Ariana wrote Thrive. Written by let's see. My greatest mistake, Fast Company. Check this out. Check this out. Okay, so I'm gonna grab this. Ariana's pretty famous, but we're still gonna give ChatGPT a little bit of help here. Right, so remember what I said, this is a completely different topic, right? So we're gonna do new chat. All right, so act as an expert copywriter, but I want you to be and use the voice of Ariana Huffington. Use this article link as a reference. So what you have is previous emails that your bosses have written. So you can give them multiple, like, hey, use this and this and this email as a reference, this email as a reference, this email as a reference. I'm going to do this. Okay. Write me an email about, I don't know, what's something that we could write? Write an email about, can you give me some examples of something that is not specific to Verizon, but something that we could run a test for here?
You know what I'm thinking of that I do write quite often is like organizational announcements. So if somebody's promoted
Okay, perfect.
and they'll send me like a brief description of themselves and their background. And then you kind of have to just professionally put it into a document.
Perfect. ChatGPT can do all that work for you and make you sound phenomenal. And upcoming promotion for Sarah Smith. She's been with the company for 5 years and is now a senior leader in the marketing team. We're just making stuff up here, okay? In her spare, her hobbies are hiking and writing courses. We're just we're gonna do some basic stuff. Okay, how long they've been there and some hobbies. That's usually what a lot of companies do. Right, so that's what we're gonna do. So remember, we're telling it to pretend to be Ariana Huffington and use this link as a reference for voice and tone. Okay. So instead of the but, I just can say, I want you to pretend. I want you to be, and use the voice of Ariana Huffington. We're gonna see what it does. We're gonna push enter. Da, 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 da. Magic, 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 magic. It's working, it's working, it's thinking, it's thinking. Let me update it. Subject, a well-deserved promotion for Sarah Smith. Right. Let's see. Look at how much it wrote with you. We didn't give it very much, did we? Dear team, it is with great pride and excitement that I announce a remarkable promotion within our marketing team. Please join me in congratulating Sarah Smith, who has earned the title of senior leader in recognition for her outstanding contributions and dedication over the past 5 years. From the moment Sarah joined our company, she brought not only her expertise, but also an infectious passion for growth and innovation. Over time, she has continually elevated our marketing efforts, shaping strategies, and have brought us closer to our goals. Sarah's unwavering commitment and leadership have made a true asset to the team and a role model to many. Sarah is the epitome of dedication. Whether she's navigating the rugged trails on a hiking adventure or embracing the grace and power of a horse ride, her resilience and spirit are woven into everything she does, from tackling challenges head on, guiding the marketing team position, and blah, 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 blah. You get it, right? So I will tell you one further key trick. So this is pretty nice, right? I will tell you a dead giveaway where people will know that you use ChatGPT, and it is the use of this particular hyphen. And that's because most people don't use that, right? So I'm going to give you a trick. Rewrite it without hyphens. That way you don't have to do the work, and it redoes the grammar for you. Hey, look, it kept that. I think it doesn't recognize. Rewrite and remove. There we go. So I give you some subject line, and then you can say, give me 3 more options for subject lines. I mean, you can't get that creative, right? It's just.
So I just took the last announcement that I sent out.
Yeah.
Ingrid, I took one for Joe when he was promoted to director, and what I wrote, and I just typed it in here, and oh my goodness, it's amazing. It looks so much better.
Yay!
This is awesome. So how do you do it, Jen? Did you like just copy and paste what you typed originally for Joe and then put it on?
So I put like the act as an expert. Like I took that sentence and then I just copied what I had written, and then it came up with something new. Here, I'm going to send you a screenshot just so you see that.
Yes.
Yay, good. Good. I'm saying I told you I wanted to make sure that you could see yourself actually using these tools.
Yeah, that's what I was really confused about at first. I'm like, this is amazing, but how am I going to use this?
Yeah. And you can literally use it for every single thing you can think of. Like I'm showing you some examples, but there's so much more.
And I think as we start playing this, we'll probably keep joining, just like my dad does.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
Ingrid, I don't know if you were at the beginning of the call, but my dad's on here as well.
Yes, I heard that. Hello, Jen's dad.
Yeah, no, he's in a coffee shop right now, though. So.
Yeah.
And #1 recruiter for the AI classes. Thank you, Mike. You're amazing. I love it. Let's see. That's technically all I have for you. There's a lot of other tools that I usually share on these sessions, but you can't use them anyway. So it's kind of a waste. I was going to show you Opus Clip, but if you're not really on the marketing team, doesn't really.
The question on this one. So for example, if we're like rewriting, because we do a lot of organizational announcements for senior directors.
Yes.
But it does does it use a different way for each time, or does it use like a same template or flow? Because then I don't want it to like sound like, oh, well, I kind of like read that already before.
Right,
So
yeah.
it's, I'm not saying like it's plagiarizing, but it is AI. So you
Oh,
never know.
absolutely.
But
Yes.
does it change every
So
time?
let's test it out, right?
Okay.
So, great, thanks. I have a new promotion. This one is for Joe Smith. So it depends on how much you give it, right? Because you saw how much more ChatGPT elaborated, right? He's been with us for 10 years and is now VP of sales. I'm just making stuff up, right? Like I don't is now the VP of sales. His hobbies include going to Husker games and taking his kids to karate lessons. Right? Act as an expert copywriter and write me a fun email to send to my 500 employees. So let's see what it comes up with.
So I did it twice. I took another org announcement that I wrote, and it did come up with something different.
Good. Yeah, it usually does. You will come to a point where some of it is very templatized. But the more you give it of information that's different, the more it will change, right? So I'm glad that you already got to see that, Jennifer. So let's see. It's dear team, I'm thrilled to share. Let's see over here. Does it say I'm thrilled? No, it's great pride and excitement. See, so it's not the same. Not this one's thrilled to share some exciting news with all of you today. There's only so much you can do with like promote or changes, right? Or like promotion. So like chat, especially if you feel like you're sounding like a template robot, ChatGPT can give you some options for like make it different from all these other ones I've already sent, right? So I'm thrilled to share some exciting news because you still have to be professional, right? Please join me in congratulating Joe Smith on his well-deserved promotion to VP of Sales. Joe has been with us for 10 years. He has proven time and time again that he's a force to be reckoned with. It's cool. Whether it's strategizing for success, he's played a pivotal role. When Joe isn't leading our sales efforts, you can find him cheering on the Huskers at their games or busy taking his kids to karate lessons and probably practicing a few moves himself. How cool is that, right? A little joke there, right? We didn't even tell it to write a joke. His energy, enthusiasm.
AI has jokes.
Yes, AI's got good jokes. And this is a professional email, by the way. Like you can make it, I'll give you an example. Not that you would send this to your team. No, make it really funny. Breaking news, Joe Smith is now VP of Sales and future karate master. See, even the subject line is already
That's so cool.
your team. Hold on to your hats because we have some big news. Joe Smith has been promoted to VP of Sales. Yes, you read that right. Joe has been with us for a decade, 10 years, folks, is now officially at the helm of our sales team. And let's be honest, if you've been around long enough to witness Joe's hustle, his promotion was inevitable. Whether he's masterminding our sales strategy or diving into new project, blah, 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 superpower. So you get the idea, right? Like this is, what's this one said? When Joe's not closing sales, you'll find him at Husker games, loud and proud, and probably yelling at the TV like it's his second job.
I love this.
Are you connecting the dots here on how you can use this for some of your stuff?
Oh yeah.
Yay! I'm glad. Right. So again, this is not meant to be, the chances of this writing a perfect email for you are like not 100%. But if it can give you a good starting point, right, you can like take something from here and then something from yours and sort of hodgepodge it and then put it into ChatGPT and just tell it to proofread and organize it and then go from there. Because you can tell it to not rewrite any of it and just tell you, give you feedback on how to make it better. So that way, especially if one of your senior leaders writes something, right? You can give it like, hey, here's a rewrite that I did with Gemini, and here's another one that just gives you suggestions, right? So that way they can have an option of not losing what they initially wrote in their essence, but they might be like, this is way better, just go with that one. Or they take some of the feedback and be like, oh, okay, I see that Gemini didn't understand this part. Let me rewrite it over here.
No, I love this.
Yay, I'm glad. So again, this is something that I haven't played too much with Gemini in the past, but ChatGPT, honestly, Claude is a much better writer, but since you don't have access to Claude and you have your own GPT, I'm only showing you ChatGPT right now.
I think ours is using the same premise as ChatGPT. The only difference is it doesn't allow us to upload like a picture. Because I know like for ChatGPT, when I'm like, oh, use this picture and then make it look like this, so it gives us that option. But I think with the Verizon one, it's just all text, which I hope they upgrade it one day.
Yeah, you can do a lot more once you have the paid version. I don't know. Well, you told me that you came to my Canva class. Do you have access to Canva?
Yeah, Jen and I have it. I tried to add the AI to it, but our website's blocked. So I did it from my phone and I was able to add it from my phone. And then
Okay.
once I add it from my phone and I go back to the web browser online from my work computer, then it was able to pull it up. So it was like the workaround.
Okay.
Work around it.
So I do a whole bunch of
But yeah.
here. So have you played with Dreamlab yet?
No, I would love to play with Dreamlab. I mean, it's there, but I haven't used it. So that's
Yeah,
why I'm
so
like,
this is an example.
it looks so nice.
So remember it says add an image. So
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
I
because you
can
were
add
talking
like
about adding.
a,
Yeah,
oh,
so
it
I'm gonna.
says like it says guide your creation, style reference. So is it just, it's not letting me add. It just says coming soon.
Ah, you're right. It's doing the same thing for me, image to image. So style reference. Uh, so make an executive from a top company and turn him into a unicorn. Riding on a rainbow made of Skittles. I'm just making stuff up. We're on a creative rant here, right? So there you go. There you go, right? So even if you wanted to just pretend that this was your executive, you can give it more guidance into hair color, suit color, whatever, right? It did a good job making those Skittles. I'm impressed.
It would probably be nice, like once that upload option is available, because then we can add their picture and they can do
Yes.
that on Dreamlab. It's really cool. I like.
Look at this. What a cool rainbow. Looks like there's some extra candy in there too. Yeah, and just so you know, right now, there are very few company. I think Flux, I haven't done this yet, but Flux, which is probably something that's blocked for y'all. But this is the tool that if you want to play on your own computer or on your own phone at home, where you can add images and then it turns that image and that face or body into something else. So you can use that for image generator, video template. So just know that even once Canva allows you to upload images, the chances of it getting faces correct are pretty slim for now. Oh, wait, another 6 months. And the same thing with ChatGPT. So it's not something that they're that they specialize in, but there are other companies who are specializing in that. And it's more for people like doing their own like photo shoots or AI photo shoots. So they're uploading their own picture and then putting themselves in a whole bunch of different sort of positions instead of them having to actually do a whole photo shoot. So it is there is some way of doing this professional. There's some professional headshots that you can do, but the company is not free. So professional AI headshots. Let's see. Understand there's one that's free. So there's a few here. There we go. AI
So,
generator.
Ingrid, so I went into this dream lab and I was able to upload a picture of Holiday. And like we have Weekend Warrior. So I put his picture in here and I put the warrior. I just typed in warrior and it like is giving me all these AIs of him as a warrior.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna send this to you because I used to do this for like the download decks, and then I put a picture in there for each of the employees or each of the store managers that
Yeah.
are assigned to the Weekend Warrior.
How did you like upload the picture, Jen? Because I was clicking on add image, but it wasn't like allowing me to add the image, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Were you doing it on your phone?
No, I clicked add image, and the first one is style reference.
Oh, okay. I thought
You
it was
can
like saying
Oh, yes.
style.
Ingrid and I are both
style
stuck on that. And
reference.
like we didn't even bother clicking it.
Oh, I didn't
Ingrid,
even
you and
click
I
on it. Okay,
did
hold
the
on.
same thing. Look at upload file. Oh my goodness. There we go.
Okay, so let me try it real quick because I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay.
Because it made it seem like it wanted something else. There we go. Okay. Select from recent generate, upload file.
Okay,
How
I'm gonna
cool is
try
that?
it with my old boss's picture.
Thank you, Jennifer.
And then did you put like
Yeah.
what did you put on there? Like with just
So
when you were
I
typing the picture.
I just put warrior, and then it put his face in all these warrior pictures.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
amazing. That is so cool. Yeah, Canva
Okay,
Dreamland,
let me see.
they are
That is so
killing it.
cool. Okay, let me see. I think I'm gonna try it with my other boss because we have. Oh my gosh, that is so neat, Jen.
I just started clicking as you guys were talking, and I
Good. I'm glad you're clickety clack. That's how we learn. That's how
Oh
we
my gosh,
learn.
wait, is that Danny or Holiday?
That's Holiday, the one
Oh
I
my
sent you.
gosh, that is so neat.
That was he was the first one that popped up. So yeah, I'm gonna have to throw this on my next download deck, and they're gonna love it.
That's
Yay.
so cool. Yay.
So excited for y'all.
That's awesome. I love it.
Got a little sidetrack, but we learned something.
No, it was perfect. That's why when you started saying that, I was like, wait, let me show you Dream Lab. And for some reason, like Canva makes it really difficult to get to this, like on just their normal homepage. So I just have this saved, canva.com/dreamlab, and I just go to that instead of trying to figure out how to go to it on the homepage.
I add for some reason it's added on my left side, my favorites, which is cool.
Oh,
So
good. I'm glad because
it's
sometimes
already
it's there and
it's already
sometimes it
on
isn't.
there. So yeah, that's really neat.
So
Thank
Streamlab, yeah.
you.
For some people it shows up and for others it doesn't. So that's
Thanks
why
for
I just have the Dream.
thanks for telling us about that. I didn't even know
You're
that. And
welcome.
thanks for playing with it, Jen.
Yes.
Of course.
And also I just saw Canva also has an AI headshot generator. I put the link in here. So if you need different headshots of your boss, so let's say you have one formal one, they can create a whole bunch of different ones.
Oh, so that's
Okay,
on the okay, and it's under apps as well, right? Like the headshot generator.
Probably. I don't know. I just found the
Oh,
generate headshots. I just
awesome.
clicked around and
I love it.
going over there. So that link that I put in here, it'll take you to that if you do generate headshots.
Okay, perfect.
Right. So again, if you're creating images, so now I'm curious. Okay, so this might be something fun for y'all if a lot of this stuff is sort of like just more internal stuff. So can you see if you can get to opus.pro? Because if you can, I'm going to show you something cool. If you can't, then
I think I tried Opus. Oh, yes. Yep.
okay. Woohoo! All right. So this might be kind of fun. So Opus Clip, you can create one long video and create 10 viral clips. So this is actually a really great way if you have, let's say, a keynote speech or even just a long presentation that your boss has done. By long, I mean more than 5 minutes. You can put it in here. You can get a couple videos for free. This is something I pay for. Okay, so this is not something that you'll be able to just do free forever. So fair warning, but if you want to do something just for fun. So what I did earlier is before this call started is I picked a video that just said, and funny enough, I didn't know you all were going to be on the call, but I picked something that had to do with the phone. So I know Verizon is much more than that. But I actually gave it this clip. So I went on YouTube and just looked for a review of the latest iPhone, right? So I just found this one. It's 13 minutes and 58 seconds. I did not watch the whole thing because who has an extra 13 minutes to hang out and watch a review? I sure don't. So what I did is I just grabbed this link from here and I brought it over here and told it, give me clips. So in here, it'll show you. So this is an example you could be able to do with one of your boss's presentations. It'll use AI to find the parts that are most important and then put captions on it. So from that whole video, I did nothing else. I'm gonna play this for you. So take me to this because I think this will come in handy for you, even if it's just for fun. Take me to the whole page. There we go. Okay. So it gives you the text and you can edit it. You can do an AI hook, beta, speech enhancement, add B-roll. I never do any of that stuff. This is a lot of the stuff that podcasters or companies are using from all over the world. And any large video, this is how they get them into short clips really quickly and put them on social media. So this is
the biggest new feature on the front with that dynamic island, so let's take a little time to talk about it. Initially, I thought it was a cool gimmick, something that does add to the experience, but is by no means a necessity. And I mean, truthfully, that hasn't changed, but I'd add.
So next clip.
So in this video, we're going to be discussing the iPhone 14 Pro about 2 years later, and whether or not, of course, it's still worth buying, which I really think it is. It might even be.
Right. So again, it's a boring review, but this is an example of how
Lenses with the main wide 48 megapixel lens, as well as the ultra wide 12.
you can make longer videos and cut them into something and make them shorter to sort of either get the point across or you just wanted something really quick. So this is without any editing on our end. This is AI did all of this in less than 5 minutes. It gave me, how many clips did it make? It gave us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I counted correctly, there's 10. If I counted incorrectly, there's some. There we go. 10 clips. Yes. So from a 13-minute video, it made these 10 short clips that can garner attention. So again, this is kind of more for the marketing team, but since it sounds like you have some creative autonomy with some of the fun stuff you can do, you can record, you can do this from a Zoom conversation that your team leaders did, or maybe you record them from a meeting and do a short and upload it to Opus Pro. Again, I think you can make like 1 or 2 videos for free. And then you can just use it either for fun or for actual business purposes. So I wanted to introduce you to that so you can have some fun with it since you're making AI images of your leaders already. Maybe this can be something fun too.
Yeah, definitely.
Alrighty, so I'm gonna stop share there. again, all the other tools I was going to show you, they're all blocked for you. So we did our best in workshopping what we could do. So thank you for playing along with the ChatGPT stuff and the email. So what was your favorite part of today's session, Jennifer?
You know, I can't decide because I'm really excited about, using this GPT to help me write these emails. But now I'm in the Stream Lab playing around. So I think I have my top two.
Yeah. Good. Yay. How about you, Ingrid?
I like the Verizon GPT for sure, just like Jen, because it'll help kind of like edit, proof what we're typing, which is amazing. And I love the Canva stuff because we use Canva every day, and so it helps to know all these extra, things that we can use, like the Dream Lab, and it's really nice. So yeah. And then the list of stuff that you shared with us. So even though we don't have access on our browser because of our VPN, at least we have that option outside if we want to use it on our personal computers. And then if we like it, then we'll be like, oh, can you unlock it for us?
Yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah. So I think I just love it all.
Yay! Well, thank you so much for coming to session, ladies. That's all I got for you. We have a little bit of time, so if there's something that you still want to workshop, I'm happy to. But if you're like, I'm good, this was already like drinking from a fire hose, then I totally understand and go forth and conquer.
I love it. I'm just going to start playing now.
Yay!
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome. So happy that you were recruited by your dad. Jennifer, thank you so much, Mike, for all the love. Keep sending people. We're gonna keep doing these. Gonna be doing these at least once a month. Because there's so much that happens every single time. I'm sure your dad, if he was watching, there's a whole bunch of new stuff he got to see today that I haven't showed in other classes. And like every single session is completely different because I tailor it to who's on the call instead of just slides, because then I get bored. So because it's the same thing over and over again. So I hope you got something out of this and you can go have fun and making your executives into Pegasus or unicorns and have some fun with it.
Thank you so much. We'll probably be back on for your next one as we play around and want to learn
Yes.
more.
Awesome. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a beautiful rest of your day.
You
You.
too. Bye.